I'd like to call the second meeting of March 2023 to order, and I think this is Commissioner Castlen. If you would lead us in the prayer and pledge, please.
Please bow your heads and pray with me. God in heaven, as we come before you today to serve our community, please give us the grace and strength to live the words of St. Francis as he said, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Amen. If you'll please join me for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, I will be briefly suspending our regular Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting, and I'm calling to order a meeting of the Daviess County Public Improvement Corporation. Jenny?
Item 1, consideration for approval. A, appoint the following members to the Daviess County Public Improvement Corporation. Charlie Castlen as Director and President, Chris Castlen as Director and Secretary, Janie Marksberry as Director, Larry Conder as Director.
Motion to approve.
Second.
You got a motion, a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
B, minutes of the August 18, 2022 Daviess County Public Improvement Court meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
You got a motion, a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And without further business to do at this meeting is adjourned. Now we will resume the Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting.
Item 1, consideration for presentation. A, Owensboro-Daviess County Convention and Visitors Bureau 2022 review.
And we have someone here, Mark Latry. Come ahead, sir.
Thank you, Judge, for giving me a few minutes here just to present. I want to give you an update on the incredible success in 2022 and give you a look into the crystal ball of what the future looks like in Daviess County tourism. Coming out of COVID, we had a board-led strategy and an initiative to create the 5 pillars of success that you have right in front of you there. These 5 pillars represent the top opportunities to create the most economic impact for Daviess County. And so as you look down through that list, the Bluegrass Music Capital of the World, mission accomplished. You expanded, improved, and enhanced the overall visitor experience. That's ongoing. We've improved and expanded and enhanced the economic impact of bourbon tourism. That's ongoing. The Owensboro Convention Center, I'm going to talk about that in a second. That was a mission accomplished. And with the indoor sports initiatives, that's mission accomplished and ongoing as well. So our team has executed on every one of those board set expectations and pillars that they created. So that was the first thing. Second of all, I've given in front of you an executive summary, and if I could highlight just a few things on that list. In 2022, in Daviess County, we set an all-time hotel occupancy record, 59%. The average rate was up over $102. The rates were up 16% over the year before. The average occupancy was up over 8%. The Owensboro Convention Center set new performance standards, In 2022, the Convention Center set an all-time room nights produced record. For the first time, and since the building's been built, it didn't require a city subsidy. And we have Jeff Esposito here today, the general manager of the Convention Center, and he's really helping lead us into the future. He's highly motivated, very talented, and so he's been a great partner. Jeff, thank you. We can just introduce Jeff. The Green River Bourbon Distillery, their tourism visitation was up 34%. So let me tell you why all that matters. Those are people here in Davis County. Those are outside people with wallets spending money here in our hotels, in our businesses, in our attractions, in our restaurants, creating that economic impact. Now, moving on to the future, as we build onto that success, this year we've received ARPA funding to help tourism recover and then to keep expanding on that economic impact. And so our board has set an expectation and a standard for the use of those funds to create a 300 to 400% return on investment. That's the standards they've set, and that's the expectations that we're going to deliver as a staff and a team. And so what else we'd like to talk about is just this week we had a big announcement, just today as a matter of fact, with the great race coming to Davis County. And thank you for coming to speak, and commissioners, it goes a long way when you show up to an event like that. But out of the over 3,000 counties in the United States, there's only one in America that gets to claim to be the start of that major race, and that's us. So that's really a big deal. But that's not all the headlines. And just this week, I've got some articles here for just this week in the headlines. The Great American Bluegrass Jam debuted this weekend. Sold out hotels. People from all across the country came into that event, and we combined multiple events into one weekend to make it a destination weekend. Just a few days later, we announced the Fear Expo is going on right now. It's an exhibit going on at the Convention Center. If you've not been over there, the whole bottom of the Convention Center is full of haunted exhibits, and they're selling to people that own haunted houses. So those people that own haunted houses across the country will be here in Owensboro trying to buy these animatronics and haunt things. So that's the next one. We filmed a commercial last night and yesterday. Miller House was named in the top 5 bourbon bars in America. So we filmed a commercial. We're going to be doing a lot of marketing on that. Just this week, we announced the Owensboro Comic and Toy Con will be coming in October here in Owensboro and Davis County. And the guy that puts this on does the Lexington Con. And when you think of Lexington, you might think of the horses or bourbon or UK basketball. The Lexington Comic Con is the #1 room night producing event in Lexington. We've got the guy coming here in October to put on the same type of an event. And then finally, in today's paper, you saw the CVB starting strong in 2023. Chris Joslin shot on there talking about the success we have with that. So with all these records in 2022, I hope you can imagine what kind of success we're hoping to have with this ARPA money and how we're going to leverage that into success. So with that, that's all I have.
I'm curious, do you have anything you want to share on the ARPA funds you mentioned, or you're not prepared to do that yet?
We can. I've got it on your executive summary on the back page there. There's 2 pages on that. So there's 2 different tranches that we've received, and that money is specifically, there's rules and guidelines given down specifically by the state of Kentucky on how we use that and where we deploy those.
Right.
And then again, the board set that return on investment at that 300 to 400% return. So
Okay.
it's designed to bring meetings, events, and conventions
Okay,
to this community.
very good. Commissioners, do you have any comments or questions?
No.
Commissioner Condor.
Thank you, Judge. Mark, just to clarify for the public, whenever you're talking about the $5 million that you're going to be getting over, what, 4 years, 5 years, something like that, right? Yes. There are a lot of stipulations that go along with this money. I mean, it can't just willy-nilly be used for anything that you think. So the state requires a significant amount of reporting to do so, right? But I noticed on your list you have certain facilities to to where this funding can only be used at. And those facilities are the Owensboro Sports Center, the Convention Center, Bluegrass Museum and Hall of Fame, and the River Park Center. Is that correct?
That's it.
So only events directed toward those four can these funding be used for. Is
And
that correct?
outdoor sports, any outdoor sports event. So those four covered facilities plus outdoor sports.
Outdoor sports that might be held at some of the county or city parks is what you're talking about also. So I did not know that. Thank you very much. It is going to be a task to make sure that reporting is done correctly.
Yes.
And leveraged at 300%, that's a goal. Anytime you can turn $1 into $3,
Thank you.
that's kind of magical, actually. So thank you for all your work, and thank the staff. Claude
Would you introduce Claude since you brought it up?
Claude Bacon.
Sorry, I missed that.
There you go. He's the chair of the board for the
chair.
CVB. Great work that's going on with everyone there. Everything's happening almost light speed, so thank you very much for doing so.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Jenny, next item.
B, proclaim April 7, 2023 as Arbor Day.
Make a motion to approve.
We don't vote on this. No. Where? Well, Jordan, are our mics working?
I think it might be.
Oh, okay. So, a proclamation from the Office of County Judge Executive. Whereas the Commonwealth is graced with diverse forests that extend from the hardwoods of the east to the cypress sloughs of the west, and whereas trees area sustainable resource providing significant environmental, economic, social, and human health benefits to Kentuckians, and whereas annually Kentucky spends an estimated $8.2 million managing and preserving the state's urban forest, and whereas trees enhance air quality, purify our water resources, protect our soil, supply a source of renewable energy, and provide valuable wildlife habitats, and whereas Kentucky forest products provide $13.9 billion in green industry and employment to over 53,000 people, and whereas healthy and diverse forests contribute to public health and well-being by providing places for recreation and relaxation. Now therefore, I, Davis County Judge Executive Charlie Castlen, do hereby proclaim April 7, 2023 as Arbor Day in Davis County, Kentucky, and urge all citizens to observe this day by planting a tree for the benefit of future generations and to beautify our state. Presented in Davis County, Kentucky, this 23rd day of March, 2023. And this will be mailed, right, Jenny?
Yes. C, Treasurer's Report for February 2023.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. As of February 28th, 2023, total cash balance is $68,154,588 for all funds. General fund balance is $29,688,711. The fund transfers to provide operating monies for the road fund and jail fund, which were approved in fiscal court session February 7th of 23, are complete. All funds are operating within expected ranges, and there is nothing else to report.
Any questions of our treasurer? Nope. Next item, Jenny.
2, consideration for approval, A, minutes of the March 9th, 2023 Davis County Fiscal Court meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
And a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
And a motion and second. Mr. Johnson, any comments you want to share with us, or commissioners, any questions from Mr. Johnson?
No questions.
No.
No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Jenny?
C, Resolution 5, 2023, and to apply for CDBG funds to assist Habitat for Humanity with the building project.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and second, and I think I know, Mr. Lovett, are you speaking on this, or? All right. Mr. Johnson, you got anything to say about it, or no? No, okay. So I think at our last meeting, we Go, Mr. Smith.
Yes,
All right.
so as you all are aware, we last year granted $1 million to Habitat for Humanity, and then we became aware that they could also apply for a grant, a CDBG grant, to help develop their first subdivision. And so in order to apply for a CDBG grant, we had the public hearing at the last meeting, and then there are certain rules you have to go through. There's going to be certain hoops that have to be jumped through as far as resolutions and so forth. So this is just the first part of the resolution, and then to actually apply for the funds. The funds will come to Davis County, and then we will send them on to Habitat.
Okay, thank you.
Great project.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
D, Resolution 8, 2023, House Bill 1, County Clerk's Election Equipment Grant.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion second, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge, this resolution is a required item for our application to the State Board of Elections for reimbursement in the amount of $182,971.28, which will offset the expense of the voting system that we purchased in October of 2021. Once I submit the application, it has been processed. The Department of Local Government will execute a contract for reimbursement, which will have to come back to fiscal court for approval. I would recommend approval.
Any questions of Mr. Johnson?
No.
No.
Any questions from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
E, Resolution 9, 2023, and grant assistance agreement with KIA and the Commonwealth of Kentucky for Jack Hinton Road Water Main Project.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Got a motion second. Mr. Lovett, you want to speak to this? No? Mr. Johnson?
The Kentucky Infrastructure Authority has awarded the remaining $1.05 million for the Jack Hinton Road Water Main Project from Cleaner Water Program grant funds. This resolution affirms the court's approval, designates the authorized official for the project, which is Judge Executive Charlie Castlen. The accompanying grant assistance agreement simply lays out the responsibilities of each party. GRAD is administering the grant, and fiscal court will be the fiscal agent of funds, dispersing funds received only when the necessary criteria have been met in accordance with this agreement. Tom Lovett with GRAD is in attendance to answer any questions you may have. Otherwise, I would recommend approval.
Okay. Any questions of the commissioners?
No.
No.
Any questions from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
F, MOA with the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Office of the Governor, Department for Local Government, Office of State Grants, to establish an agreement for e-poll books.
Motion to approve?
I'll second it.
Got a motion second. Mr. Johnson?
This is the MOA resulting from our application to the State Board of Elections for reimbursement of the e-poll book system for the Davis County Clerk's Office. Once this agreement is approved, the Department for Local Government will reimburse fiscal court the full $120,420 in equipment expense. I would recommend approval.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson?
No.
No.
Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
G, MOA with the City of Owensboro and Davis County Public Schools regarding funding juvenile drug and mental health court.
Make a motion to approve.
And I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. This is a memorandum of agreement. Several weeks ago, we started two of these. One was for the mental health court, and we finished it up a couple meetings ago. And this is the juvenile drug court. And I want to thank all the folks at the city and also the county schools who have agreed to assist us on this. And I want to thank our county attorney for his assistance on this as well. So, any questions or comments from anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor signify.
Quick question, please.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be administered through Davis County Public Schools. Owensboro Public Schools, are they also involved with the juvenile drug court aspect? And maybe the county attorney could even answer that question, because Davis County Public Schools has the program, but OPS, are they also going to be involved in the same program or same process?
This is for countywide, and it's not specific to school, but the Davis County Public School will be the administrator of the program.
So
Very good.
in other words, city schools would have access to the program.
Very good.
Correct.
Yeah. All of our youth will have access.
Correct.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yes. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
HMOA with the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Justice and Public Safety Cabinet, Office of the Secretary, Office of Drug Control Policy to establish an agreement for the Davis County, Kentucky ASAP Local Board.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. The local ASAP Board's 23-24 budget was approved by the state in the amount of $20,000. Davis County Fiscal Court acts only as the fiscal agent for these funds as laid out in this memorandum of agreement. I, as the county treasurer, will prepare the local ASAP Board's financial statements and issue payment from the restricted funds for approved expenditures once the necessary criteria have been met. This is a standard annual agreement, and I would recommend approval.
Any questions for our treasurer?
No.
No.
Any questions from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I, Employee Assistance Program Services Agreement with Owensboro Health Incorporated.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This is our annual agreement for EAP services available to all Davis County Fiscal Court employees. There are no changes to the services offered. In fact, the only change in this agreement is the rate per employee, which has increased by 50 cents per employee per year, which keeps the total expense within our expected range. I have reviewed it. It is in order. I would recommend approval.
Any questions from the commissioners for Mr. Johnson?
I will abstain from this just since it involves my current employer.
Okay. Any questions from the public? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And let the record reflect that Commissioner Castlen abstained. And I'm an aye vote also.
J Detention Center Retention Recruitment Incentive Pay Adjustment effective March 19, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. The Davis County Detention Center is currently down 17 full-time positions and 1 part-time floor deputy. The lack of staff is resulting in overtime for the remaining employees, which is causing jail management significant scheduling issues to maintain full shift coverage. To address retention of existing staff, Jailer Maglinger requests an early application of the 6.5% COLA that would have been applied in fiscal year 23-24 and an 8.5% adjustment to current salaries. To address recruitment for vacant positions, jail management requests approval of the presented starting salary schedule that you have in your binders, which represents a $1.50 per hour increase for hazardous deputy jailers and a $2.30 per hour increase for non-hazardous deputy jailers. The impact of this decision for the remainder of this fiscal year would total approximately $142,000, and upon review, adequate funds remain in the jail fund to cover the expense. The adjustment is made effective March 19th of 23 to align with the current pay period. I see no issues.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Commissioner Condor.
Jordan, if you could, this addition, which I hope helps, especially when you're 17 down and trying to just get half of that would be astounding if they can. What impact, you stated what, $142,000?
Yes.
And that I assume will be rolling into the 23-24 budget for the jail fund? So the subsidy then for Davis County taxpayers goes from 3.7 to 3.8 or 3.9?
It is actually already built into the current model of the budget.
It is.
So we anticipate, even with this increase, for that subsidy to remain the same.
Thank you. So just so the public understands, it is an ever-growing issue of our jail. Subsidies continue to rise, and they can't get employees. They just can't. And that's a tough job because all of those first responders are behind walls. And being able to take care of our citizens, especially those that are incarcerated, in the right way, needs to be paid attention to. Funding from the state or whatever the case may be, it is an issue, and we need to pay attention to it going forward. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments?
No.
No.
Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
K, reject bid number 2223-50, one new or used one-ton chassis cab transfer station.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Judge. This rebid was to replace the mechanic vehicle that was totaled during a break-in theft incident at the transfer station. The delivery estimates for one-ton vehicles are far outside of the range deemed acceptable to transfer station management, which are currently projected to be mid to late 2024. In light of this, Transfer Station Management believes the county would be best served by pursuing a bid for a smaller unit that will meet their needs and can be delivered in a reasonable time frame. Therefore, we are recommending to reject all bids. I recommend rejection.
Any questions for the treasurer?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
L, award bid number 2223-52, 2 new community notification sirens EMA.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion second. Mr. Johnson.
This bid is for the provision and installation of 2 new community notification sirens, one to be placed at the Thrusten Philpott Volunteer Fire Station and the other to be placed at Timber Trail. We received 2 bids and recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid submitted by Ohio Valley Two-Way Radio in the amount of $60,589.79. There were no exceptions to our specifications. This is a budgeted project, and I would recommend approval.
Any questions of our treasurer?
No.
No.
Any questions from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
M, reappoint Jordan Johnson to the Industrial Development Authority Board, effective 4/9/2023.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and second. Thank you for agreeing to serve in this capacity. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3, consideration for discussion, first reading of KOCA 1.102.01 2023 to 2023 budget amendment number 1.
And this is our a first reading, so we do not need a motion or a second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge, it is necessary to amend the budget to reflect the receipt and expenditure of funds received through a state or federal grant if that grant was not part of the original budget document. This budget amendment is to reflect the reimbursement of voting equipment from the State Board of Elections in the amount of $303,500 and the funds resulting from the KIA Grant Assistance Agreement earlier in the agenda in the amount of $1.05 million. That is for the Jack Hinton Road Water Main Project. This is the first reading.
Any questions for the treasurer?
No.
Any questions from the public? Next item, Jenny.
B, other business be brought before the Davis County Fiscal Court.
Do we have any?
I'm not aware of any. C, public comments.
This is the part of the meeting where we ask people to come to the podium, identify yourself, your name and address for the record, and speak to any item that is not on the agenda. And I know we've had people here before that have spoken, come as a group. So if you're here as a group, we will have one speaker for the group on either side of the issue.
Jerry Chapman, 2601 Elwood Court. I realized this morning, sitting drinking my coffee, that 6 weeks ago, we, meaning Davis County Citizens for Decency, barged into your all's lives and never really made an introduction. So I hope you'll indulge me and allow me to do that tonight. We are in existence because of drag queens. But we're not a single issue organization. We exist in order to give a more and more frequently neglected segment of our society a voice, Christians. Our motto, many houses, one voice, means exactly that. Many churches, many denominations, one unified voice. As I've mentioned before, we represent 47 churches now, and it could be more tomorrow. Citizens for Decency intends to be a unified voice in all arenas of society, not just here. Issues important to our membership, measured against the Word of God, constitute our mission. Seeing God's will done is our goal. So, believe it or not, we're here to help. If you lead with God at the forefront of your decision-making process, we'll be your best friend. We will do everything we can to help you. By now, you all know me, but I'd like to take just a moment to mention the other members of our board of directors. Some of them I think you'll recognize. Catherine Crow, our co-founder, is here with me tonight. John Fowler, local pastor, highly respected gentleman. George Wathen, Sandy Spady, Tina Myers, Donna Lanham, many of you may know. Jerry Ford and Jordan Chrysley, both pastors here locally. Some of the finest Christians you'll ever want to meet. Among those names, of course, are pastors, business people, activists, former politicians, accountants, nurses, retired teachers. We come from all walks of life. We're Catholic, we're Baptist, we're Christians first and foremost. Like any other group of diverse people, we have our differences, but we recognize the problem and we've come together as Christians to oppose those issues. We're a 501c3. We have money in the bank. And as I mentioned earlier, we're not a single issue organization. We're not going anywhere. Last week, our state legislature made it clear that they believe this is a local issue, and they've told us we must look to you for answers. Like it or not, this is going to have to be dealt with right here. If the River Park's not going to stop, or I should mention the convention center as well, is not going to stop on their own, we collectively are going to have to stop them. And the only way that happens is to amend county adult entertainment ordinances. Every part of our society is regulated, every part. Think about it. There's nothing in our lives that isn't regulated in some way. Our homes are regulated. Our cars are regulated. The insurance on those cars and our homes, our health insurance, our life insurance, grocery stores, everything in our lives is regulated. Bars, nightclubs, strip joints, regulated. Yet somehow they'd like you to believe that regulating drag shows is an infringement upon their First Amendment rights. I'm here to tell you right now, if you walk into the Ghost Light Lounge Saturday evening when they'll be doing another of those disgusting shows, you will find people of all colors, straight, gay, makes no difference. So for them to say that regulating drag shows is an infringement upon their First Amendment rights, the First Amendment rights of the LGBTQ community, is disingenuous. It's no more an infringement upon their rights than it is regulating strip clubs is an infringement upon young women's rights. It's just a fallacy. So, given the state stance, since the city repealed their adult entertainment ordinances in 2008, that regulation, like it or not, falls to you. So tonight I'm asking one more thing. Amend your adult entertainment ordinances. Regulate drag shows the same way you already regulate other adult entertainment in this county. And I'll leave you with this. Davidson County Citizens for Decency is hosting a prayer service Saturday at noon. We will come together and pray for our city and our county, all of our leaders, and for the misguided people who have brought us here today. Please consider yourselves all invited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak either on the opposite side of that issue or any other issue not covered? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Darren Tapp. I'm a resident of Philpott, and I was coming tonight to make an announcement I'm really proud of. I'll get to that first. I have acquired the Daviess County Fairgrounds, and as you guys have probably seen in the news lately, Kentucky Motorsports Week. They're having a lot of great events right down here downtown with car shows, bike shows, the Nikki Hayden Memorial Foundation charity ride that I started back in 2019. We're going to tie that in on 6/9 on Nikki Hayden Day. But on Saturday the 10th, I have acquired the Daviess County Fairgrounds and RPM Promotions to come and put on, I can't tell you what the official name of it's going to be, but the proceeds are going to go towards the Nikki Hayden Memorial Foundation, but we're going to put on a flat track motorcycle race out there. It ought to be a really great time. I did it before in 19, prior to COVID hitting. That's kind of threw a kibosh on me doing it annually. I intended on doing it annually. But anyways, I've putting it back together and gotten the blessing of the Hayden family, and it ought to be a great time. Now to address a grievance. One of my neighbors and a citizen in Philpott, of which I am the precinct captain of, and I want to make it very clear, I am not speaking in my official capacity as the vice chair of the Republican Party tonight. I am speaking as this man's friend, as his neighbor, and he could not make it tonight. He asked me to speak on his behalf. I do not want to throw shade on every one of you up here tonight, so I'm going to direct this to the person it needs to be directed to. Ms. Marksberry.
I'm going to ask you to address the chair, okay, and not a specific person to speak, if you would.
Yes, sir.
Your message can
my
still be heard.
apology. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I am adamantly opposed and very upset with the fact that on their county commissioner page on social media, a video was made of a man's property and the animals on his property, and it was grossly misrepresented. It was slanderous, and there was also a very nasty threat made in this social media post. Animal control has been out to the man's property. These allegations were categorically false. There were no violations, zero. The man works for me. He is my employee. He just, in the big windstorm on the 3rd, lost his home. A giant tree on his property fell on his house, caved in the side of his house and his roof, had him and his wife pinned in their house. They had to be cut out by the local fire department. Okay? They're lucky to be alive today. Their property flooded approximately 6 foot deep. Their property is adjacent to Panther Creek. When Panther Creek floods, it takes trash from all over the county and redeposits it everywhere. His property does not look like the video represented. One of the things that upsets me the most is I represent thousands of people. I'm the spokesperson for thousands of people in this community. I threw myself and my reputation behind actually every single one of you sitting up here today. I wanted every single one of you in the position that you're in. And we will not tolerate you guys using your elected office to personally go after and attack citizens of this community. We put you in this position to protect us from our federal government, the overreach, the targeting of people by the government that's going on. We see it with our 45th president every day. It's going on. Our government has been turned against its own people in so many cases. It's so egregious. We need you guys to be the buffer between us. We need you guys to protect us. We are your citizens. We put you in charge of this, okay? We've asked you to do this previously, and the citizens voted to censure Mitch McConnell. The elected officials voted against it, and that was the deciding factor, okay? We need you guys to represent us. We need you to represent our will, okay? And please, don't ever attack our citizens in that fashion again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tapp. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to an item that has not been on the agenda? Mayor, come ahead. And welcome to our fiscal court meeting.
Yeah. Thank you,
You're
Judge
right. You
and
pull that
Commissioners. I'm here tonight to personally invite you guys to our ribbon cutting ceremony for our new sheriff's office at Whitesville, Kentucky. It's going to be April the 15th at 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I appreciate if all of you could come, and count all of you guys and all of you. I'm the mayor at Whitesville, so we're getting a substation sheriff's department up there, and we're all excited about it. We cannot wait. So we're glad to have them. So, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Mark Johnson, and I live at 1045 Southgate Drive in Maceo, Kentucky. And I addressed the court on October the 20th last year about presented a petition that all the 17 residents on Southgate Drive signed a legal document that I had drawn up about the county taking over Southgate Drive to do the upkeep and maintenance. It's currently a private drive. We talked about in that, I brought up the 18,000 of taxes that are paid annually for that particular area or on that road. I also mentioned that, we don't want anything changed. We just want the county to come in and grade it, roll it, and put some chip and seal on it or gravel or something. And it doesn't have to be every year even. We also talked that maybe if that was the case, if the county took that over, that they could budget maybe at some point to asphalt the road, and which would probably raise our property taxes, but that's okay, and that would help offset that cost because it would also raise the value of our property. So I presented that on the 22nd of last year on October the 20th of last year, and as a response, I got a letter from the Mark Brasher, and he needed some more signatures for some property that on the entrance, the people don't actually live on Southgate Drive, but there's some property that's adjacent to the entrance. And I got those signatures on a new signed petition that I'm going to give you. I guess I could have gave that to you first. Is it okay if I bring this up here, Judge? So also on the front of that, I apologize. On the front of that is an email that I've been in contact recently, very recently, with my new county commissioner, Janie Marksberry. Mike Colger had come out and walked it down with me, and I think he brought some of you out to actually show you that. I think that's what he told me. So in this letter from Mark, he stipulates some things like 22-foot wide gravel and 60-foot right-of-way or easement, and that septic systems and those kind of things could not be in that area, and that would be a problem, and plus a ditch on each side. All the residents are asking for is to take what we got. There's a couple wide spots in the road. We have FedEx trucks down this road every day, UPS trucks, the U.S. mails down this road every day, and we're fine with the way it is. We don't really need it to be any wider. There's some wide spots where we pass each other. What we really need is some help from the county to come in and grade it, roll it, and put, ideally blacktop it, but if not, maybe chip and seal or gravel. And I sort of, to get an idea of the cost, we're talking probably less than $10,000, because I got a quote here from an independent contractor that will come in and do that work for, I don't have my glasses, but it's like $7,100. And that's just to roll it, grade it, roll it, and gravel it. And it's less than a mile. It's like, it's right at a half mile. And I know you all have a price per mile of blacktopping, when you're doing roads. Not sure where to go from here. I'm coming back because I don't want this issue to die. Like I said, I've got the other two signatures of the property owners. Now, there's one thing listed on there I did not do. It actually lists the wildlife fishing game. There is a easement that they have to go to the dam of Carpenter's Lake, and surely they're not going to. We're talking about making it better for them to get to their easement. So, and if you've ever tried to contact them and get them to call you back, you'll understand why I don't have a signature on that paper. So, anyway, if I don't know what steps to take from here, but I'm asking that we use some of these tax dollars that's coming off of our road to either do a one-time fix, just come in there and help us out because we are taxpayers, or take over maintenance of it, but we can't have ditches and we can't have 60-foot right-of-ways, and we want to put it back just like it is, because nobody really wants to give up any. It's tight back in there because one side of it is along the lake line, and it's there's not a whole lot of room to make a nice big wide road with sidewalks and all that. So I'm just asking that you'll reconsider this, and whatever next step is, if we could take that next step, I would sure appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I will start by allowing turning your petition over to our county engineer, just
Okay.
as the process, that was the beginning process last time. And we'll start there.
Okay.
And then I'll be back in touch with you.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Anyone else? Now, Andy, this is not about the other topic that's already been spoken to. Something else. All right, you're welcome to speak.
Good evening. My name is Andy Gamblin. I'm live at 2920 Yale Place, the Roosevelt House. My heart is very, very heavy for our young people. I want to thank the Lord for what y'all did about the money for the schools and for the drug program. That's good. But money really is not the answer. And y'all haven't done nothing, and I applaud y'all because at least y'all standing for the right thing, trying to. Our city, this is how sin, it starts rolling as a little snowball, okay? Then it gets big. About a couple years ago, they voted, the city did, for alcohol by the cup on Saturday, even into Sunday, the Lord's Day. One person abstained because they knew it was going to pass. So one person abstained from it. I went to a crusade this past summer. Pastor Rick Gage, he was in Madisonville. And on Sunday night, he said, we're losing 10,000 students a year due to alcohol. That's sad. But yet our city, they promoted alcohol. I thank the Lord because the churches are taking a stand against the sin. And then, not only that was just the first little snowball, that beautiful mall out there, Gulfstream took it over. The city, they know who owns it, and then the former city attorney, he's on their side. He works for them. They let them all go downhill. All y'all would have to do go to Madisonville, Hopkins County. Their mall's doing good. They got a wonderful mayor up there, Kevin Cotton. I know him personally. He's a good Christian man. You got Jack Whitfield up there, a good county judge. You probably know him. I do. And their mall is doing good. Why can't we have a good mall? Our city, they know what's going on. They have not stood up. The snowball got bigger. And I heard a pastor just the other night, Pastor Lance Johnson. He was in Cottonwood, Arizona, was preaching, and he was down at the river the other night. And the LGBTQ, they got an agenda. They go into every county. They bring in their attorneys. The Antifa is going to be helping them. And they want to go into the schools and teach our young people that they can be, if a little boy wants to be a little girl, they can do that. And they don't even have to contact the parents. That's wrong. That's lying to the parents. So, like this, we need y'all's help to stand up for the evil that's in our city. I'm just asking that y'all will stand up and do the right thing. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Next item, Jenny.
D, comments by Davis Fiscal Court.
I don't have any.
I'm going to start with Commissioner Marksberry.
Okay.
Because I've not started in the middle before. I've started at both ends. So,
I just want to thank you, people that came and spoke tonight, spoke from your heart and what you felt was right. And we hear you, we appreciate you. And whether it was directed against me or for me, I appreciate it. And I just want to let you know we listen and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Commissioner Castlen.
No, thank you.
Commissioner Condor.
No comments? Come on, Chris.
You'll take my spot.
There we go. 2 or 3 things. This year, this summer, we will be celebrating the 50 years of our volunteer firefighters. They're very, anytime you see one or anybody that's volunteered for our fire stations, you need to make sure you walk up to them and thank them for their service, because it's becoming more and more difficult to get volunteers to be part of our fire station, and it helps our bottom line, actually, by having them being successful. So keep your eyes open for some events that I think our volunteer stations are going to be doing this summertime. That's one. The other anniversary that is to be celebrated this year is 150 years of Reed's Orchard. That's 6 generations of a legacy farm that is just simply not very prevalent anymore. That's a great anniversary to celebrate this coming summertime. In October, they're going to be having a week, I think, to where during fall break, that the kids can be able to come out there and just enjoy what's going on at Reed's Orchard. So as maybe an idea, not that it's, there may be some other logistics involved here, but that we could take the fireworks that we do on Labor Day and go to the east side and maybe celebrate Reed's Orchard. Now, there may be other things involved with that. Don't know what those particulars might be. Just a suggestion. The last thing, we have been involved, I think the commission has been involved with Farm Bureau Literacy Week, going into the schools, elementary kids, first and second graders. Absolutely will make you smile when you see those little kids look at you and know you're there because you care. And you read to them. You read about, I love strawberries. That's what we're doing. And when we get finished and they come up to you and they want to give you a hug, it's an unconditional hug is what it is. And it's really a great thing to do, to be able to see our children be happy, be safe, and just enjoy us coming to read to them. So hopefully the rest of the commission is doing that. I think they are, and it's really a pretty good thing to do. It really is. So thank you, Judge. Thank you, everyone.
Glad to. Yes, I had my first outing today. I went to Sargo.
Did you get a hug?
I did not.
Oh, what's that mean?
I was a little bit jealous when you told me you got hugs. Yeah.
I don't know about this reading now that the judge is doing.
I got air high fives, which was a disappointment. But anyway, perhaps the next week will be better. So anyway.
Judge, if I can interrupt, I did
Yes,
forget to mention, and I brought it up at one of the other meetings, that like I've said before, we're doing the paper shredding. It's on the 31st, and that's from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon at the Sports Center. Bring your whatever documents you have that's, in or on it out. Bring your stuff. You get up to 100 pounds per person if you're a resident or a business in Daviess County at the Sports Center.
Glad you got that one, because
Yes.
that was going to be my next one.
All right.
So, all right, let's see here. You want to do this one?
I'll go ahead.
All right. First of all, I want to express my condolences to the family of John Horn. He was a fiscal court employee for a number of years, and he passed away on March 2023, and just want to express my condolences to the family. Also, the family of Richard Hall, he was a longtime volunteer fire department member at Pleasant Ridge, Commissioner Condor, and he was 82, so our thanks to him, and God bless his family as well. Let's see what else I got. So, just a couple of events I thought I'd announce. The Daviess County Public Schools are having a Kids First Night next Wednesday, the 29th, from 5 to 7 at Daviess County High School. Community resource booths will be available from 5 to 6, followed by a community conversation about fentanyl. Dinner and child care for kids 5 and up will be provided. And the next night, Thursday, March 30th, the city schools will be having a community wellness night at the Owensboro Innovation Campus at 2631 South Griffith from 5:30 to 6:30. There will be snacks, activities for the kids, mental health and stress resources, and community resource booths. So those are two things that people might be interested in. And then the last one, I can speak for I know the three that are up here with me, my fellow elected fiscal court members. When we happen to be out and about, sometimes just because we hold elected office and somebody stumbles upon us, all of a sudden something that they might not pick up the phone and call us about, but because we're nearby, they go ahead and tell us, hey, been thinking about this and I've been meaning to call you. But anyway, so back in January, I happened to take a trip to Lexington with a total of 6 of us in the same vehicle. And somebody says, and I know the fiscal court members up here know this, they said, well, we know you're not on the clock, but we want to bring something up. And we're actually always on the clock. But anyway, what they brought up was the trash that we see on our roadsides and pretty much everywhere. And it's really a disappointment. And I know Commissioner Castlen has gotten emails. I've gotten emails. I'm sure the others have gotten calls or emails about it. So anyway, in our little, I was kind of held captive because it's a 3-hour drive to Lexington. But anyway, so we started having a dialogue and a discussion about trash and what we could do. And one thing I'm going to just say, one thing we can do is when you see trash and you're walking past it, pick it up. I mean, when I go from the parking lot across the street to the courthouse building to come into my office each day, almost every day I pick up trash because it's really a pet peeve of mine. And if we want our community to be clean, we've got to pick it up. Anyway, one of the people that was in this van with me on this trip was a guy named Kyle Auld. Happened to sit on the board of a foundation called the Isaac Sterrett Foundation. And he mentioned at their board meeting the conversation I just shared with you all. And they came up with an idea, and I'll share this, and I hope you all will go home and share it with everybody you know. Hopefully our good friend Jim Mays here will write a story about it. But and Kyle should be your contact person, not me. Anyway, they are saying we're having our first annual Operation Community Cleanup. And they want teams to be formed and see who can pick up the most trash. And bottom line is form a team and help us clean up our community. Saturday, April the 15th, from 7:30 to 8 will be a meeting at 1010 Allen Street parking lot before heading out to designated areas to clean up our community. So just something to think about. I know that clashes with your invitation, Mayor, for your grand opening. So maybe if I'm not there, I'll be here. So anyway, just want to share that with our community. I hope folks will take it to heart and because I would like us all to be proud of our community and instead of being embarrassed by it. Anyway.
Judge, you can find
Yes,
that information on our website, probably starting tomorrow or the next day. You can get that from the county's website as well.
Yes. We've mentioned that to Jordan Rowe, our communications person, to try to get that. And hopefully we'll start seeing more about that and people will get excited about it. Without further business, this meeting is adjourned.